Do you like money? Are you lazy and dislike touching grass? Do you wish having money would be based on skill rather than just pure luck?
That sounds like a job. Employment? Ugh.
If so, we have a new and innovative way for you to strike it rich. Introducing Hadocoin, the world's premier cryptocurrency, linked to Capcom's infamous fighting video game, Street Fighter 6. But you may find yourself wondering, is this too good to be true? Is this a rug pull? What even is cryptocurrency? We have all those answers and more. Cryptocurrency is defined as a digital or virtual currency secured by cryptography, meaning that it relies on complex math to secure transactions made using this currency. Additionally, math is also used to control the creation of the units. It is a decentralized system, meaning that it is not controlled by a central bank or authority.
Before cryptocurrency, it is notable to mention that there were some online digital currencies, but not many attracted that much interest or established themselves in the financial markets. Some examples would be B-Money or BitGold.
These didn't gain much traction, but they did show how as people grew more into the digital age, there were attempts for an entirely new form of currency. Enter 2008. In 2008, the internet domain bitcoin.org was registered. In that same year, on Halloween, a person or organization named Satoshi Nakamoto published a scientific paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. This paper introduced this idea of cryptographical blockchain technology, in which complex math is completed in order to mine coins. Nakamoto would mine the first 50 Bitcoin, and to this day, this entity, who we do not know who the person is actually, is the largest holder of Bitcoins, next to BlackRock. Bitcoins were initially worth close to nothing, as seen with the infamous story of a man who bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins in the early days. However, due to people seeing Bitcoin's speed, anonymity, and reliability, Bitcoin had several bubbles, and also other cryptocurrencies during this time rose, leading to the current age of cryptocurrency we have today. If this still seems shady, let's see how some of these coins are doing. What really affects the price of these currencies? For reference, let's look at Bitcoin, Ether, and Dogecoin.
With everything in economics, the law of supply and demand is very dominant. Case in point with Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin has many applications as a way to pay for things both anonymously and quickly, coupled with investors' confidence in Bitcoin as a source of high returns, as well as the aforementioned scarce and very difficult to apply source of Bitcoins, this low supply and high demand situation yields to this coin performing exceptionally well. At the time of recording this commercial, a single Bitcoin is worth $109,000. That's a lot of money, and it keeps on rising and rising.
However, it is also important to note that the value of crypto is speculative. People buy and sell these goods based on their own opinions and feelings. With Bitcoin, because of these positive feelings felt towards the coin, coupled with its discussion in popular culture and the news, it has risen to massive heights. Market sentiment plays a huge role. Because of the volatility of the economy nowadays, Bitcoin has seen exponential growth, and it is safe to say that even though it is not formally recognized as a national currency, it isn't a laughing matter in terms of financial standing. Next, let's look at Ethereum and its currency Ether. Ether is the second biggest cryptocurrency in the world, next to Bitcoin, yet their purposes are entirely different. If Bitcoin is seen as a replacement of traditional fiat currency, then it could be argued that Ethereum is trying to replace traditional banking. Ethereum, the platform in which Ether is used, is widely used for businesses to create a decentralized applications, which can be used to prevent fraud, censorship, or attacks. It can also be used to build smart contracts, programs which execute when certain terms of a contract are met, and also Ethereum can be used for pure payment. All of these things are hosted on Ethereum, which are powered by Ether, the cryptocurrency. The demand for such invaluable services has led to people needing Ether to use the service, and Ether in return helps pay for developers' developmental fees and upkeep. Currently, one Ether is worth around 2.5K, and its price rose in early 2022 with a slow drop in 2023, back to another good period for Ether during this time of 2025. Finally, let's look at Dogecoin. Its existence initially started as a joke from 2 software engineers. However, due to its funny name and broad appeal to many, it served as an alternative to Bitcoin in the early days of cryptocurrency, when certain countries such as China were skeptical of Bitcoin. However, it lacked legitimacy in the early days due to various hacks. It had small bubbles, but ultimately changed in 2021. In January, it went up over 800% due to attention from Reddit users, Elon Musk, and the hype surrounding the GameStop short squeeze. Widespread appeal and positive market sentiments shot demand through the roof, leading to it having a market cap of around $50 billion in its peak. Even though it is a shell of its former self, valued at around 24 cents per token, it just goes to show how impactful market sentiment is in supply and demand.
This brings us into our coin, Hadocoin. Hadocoin will function as a way for players of Capcom Street Fighter VI to earn money for playing the game. And in general, Hadocoin can be used as a form of payment for online goods. These coins will be backed by both the US dollar and the Japanese yen, making them highly liquid. And the distribution of coins will be managed by Capcom Corporation, a respected and highly public Japanese video game corporation. The liquidity and trustworthy governance will help prevent scams. Hadocoins can only be obtained through either mining or in a much easier way, purchasing Street Fighter VI for $60 and being skilled enough in order to earn coins in-game. This helps compensate for gas fees, which are basically operational fees, which are needed to actually verify that these coins are legitimate. Through this makes Hadocoins a very, very appealing option.
The way that these Hadocoins will be distributed will be through a skill-based distribution system, where a designated amount of Hadocoins will be distributed to players based on their in-game rank. The higher the player's rank, the more fierce the competition, and thus the bigger the prize pot. Street Fighter already has an extremely rich and dedicated competitive esports scenes, and Street Fighter is already infamous for their huge prize pools. In 2025, Japanese player Kakeru won the Capcom Cup, winning a prize pool of $1 million backed by Capcom. Hadocoin, coupled with this in real-life tournament prize money, would only help grow competitions, making viewing these events more exciting and competitive.
Because of this allure, this can bring in crypto fanatics to purchase Street Fighter, which in turn would boost Capcom's performance. Through investing in both Hadocoin and Capcom Corporation, they would serve as complements. Investing into Hadocoin would improve Capcom stock, allowing stockholders to benefit. And if Capcom as a corporation is given more money, they can make the game more entertaining and competitive with greater prize pools. The true beauty in Hadocoin lies in its nature. It has all the benefits of cryptocurrency with its ability for quick, middlemanless transactions and decentralization, yet it also has a public insurance mechanism, which places stockholder pressure on Capcom to prevent any misdoings, making this a pretty stable coin with very little room for rug pulls or any scams like that to occur. It also has very easy liquidation properties, with it being backed up by both the USD and the yen, making it extremely appealing and liquid. Additionally, finally, its emphasis on earning through skill makes it very attractive and unique, especially with the world's growing esports scene. As a personal user of Hadocoin, I'm very, very satisfied with this project, and I'm very, very satisfied on what they will do in the future. Hopefully, I hope you learned something today and you consider purchasing Hadocoin.